Good afternoon, everyone. I am Cheryl Petty Garnett. I serve as the Executive Director of the Ivy Community Charities of Prince George's County, located here in Maryland. And we're just so delighted that you have taken the time to join us for this informational webinar about a very exciting project that we are beginning here with the Ivy Community Charities. As I said, this session will be recorded, so you'll be able to receive this, go back. If you need to look at some things, go back over it later. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Want to introduce our team working on this new project, the Ivy Village Incubator for Nonprofit Excellence, including myself, as I said, serving as Executive Director. We also have Miriam McKinney, who is actually on video, who serves as our Deputy Executive Director of the Ivy Community Charities of Prince George's County. Cheryl Owens is the President of the Board of Directors for the Ivy Community Charities, a 25-member board. Tanya Penny Woods is another member of our Board of Directors, and she serves as the Chair of the Ivy Vine Community Advisory Committee, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. And then finally, Erica Roberts, who is the capacity building coach for the Ivy Community Charities, representing Fair Chance and Venture Philanthropy Partners, a collaborative effort that I will also talk a little bit more about, that we have been able to be a part of through the County Council. There are actually, I think there were 11 nonprofits that have been selected over the past 3 years to participate in the capacity building program offered by the County Council, Fair Chance, and Venture Philanthropy Partners, and we were one of those. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well, but we're excited that Erica Roberts, who serves as our coach, is also a part of our team here, and I believe she's also on the call. So for those of you who may not know who we are, the Ivy Community Charities is a 501c3 organization. We were established in 1986. We're excited about celebrating our 36th year here in Prince George's County, established by the members of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Iota Gamma Omega chapter, the first sorority chapter located here in Prince George's County, and our purpose is to meet the needs of the citizens of Prince George's County. We did establish our vision that is county-wide, that Prince George's County will become a community of healthy, educated, and economically secure families, as well as a community of strong, viable businesses, and that's what leads us to the Ivy Vine Project. Our mission is to empower youth, strengthen families, and promote generational success. And we accomplish that mission by offering a set of comprehensive and long-lasting programs and services that are designed to improve the academic, health, cultural, and socioeconomic status of the youth and families here in Prince George's County, as well as to develop partnerships that collaboratively promote generational success. Talking a little bit more about our accomplishments, and particularly for this particular year, under a category of programming for youth and families, we presented more than 70,000 informational and educational workshops each year, particularly 70 this year, that include both face-to-face and virtual events. They focus on a host of topics. They are categorized under what we call the Ivy League program, and that includes our Popcorn Club, which provides tutoring at William Beanes Elementary School, and will be providing services at Princeton Elementary School, which is very close to where we're located in Suitland. The Sarah Wise Wooden Young Ladies Academy is our program to foster leadership development, team building, and such for middle school girls. Our Institute for the Growth and Development of All America's Youth focuses on high school students and leads them to develop their college and career activities and aspirations. And then we don't want parents to just drop their kids off when they come to our program. So we established the Parents on Track program specifically as a network for parents where we provide them with the resources that they need to advocate on behalf of their students. We also have 6 adopted families that we have been working with over the past several years to help them to build their economic sustainability. This year, we awarded $82,000 in scholarships. It was a record year for us, provided to 20 high school seniors and continuing education students, which brought us to over $700,000 in scholarships since we've been at least recording these in 1994. We partnered with the County Executive's Office as a nonprofit purchasing agent for the very popular and important Stand Up and Deliver program that the county executive established to address the food insecurities, particularly as they were escalated through the pandemic over the past couple of years. And then under the category of organizational management and sustainability, we were so proud that this year we earned Maryland Nonprofit Standards for Excellence accreditation. You'll hear more about that in a little bit, but that was just an exciting time for us, and Miriam was able to be there to accept the award on our behalf. It is a national seal of excellence for nonprofit management that Maryland Nonprofit conducts. We also completed year 2, the 3-year Ready for Work capacity building program. I introduced Erica Roberts to you, and it is that program in which we work with her and her colleagues. Again, that is a capacity building program that was established in collaboration with the Prince George's County Council and the 2 very significant DC-based nonprofit entities that focus on providing more assistance to nonprofit organizations. And then under the category of economic growth, we acquired the funding to begin the construction of the Ivy Vine project, the facilities that will be built to support the Ivy Vine effort. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. And we also secured community partnership grant funding in 2022 from the county executive that will help us to begin this startup work. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, each of those items in just a few minutes. So, wondering about the vision as a nonprofit, and I talked about the social service, if you will, types of activities that we've been engaged in. And so you may question, well, why not only focus on the youth development activities, the parent programs, the strengthening family programs? Well, when we purchased our property at 6118 Walton Avenue in Suitland, Maryland, the photos on the left give you kind of show what those that property looked like when we first purchased back in 2012. And so we were able to actually build up with state funding, with county funding, to actually make tremendous improvements in the property as you look at the photos on the right-hand side, opposite the ones on the left-hand side. And then looking from the rear of our building, which we now call affectionately known as the Ivy Youth and Family Center, it was originally a residential, probably one of the largest multifamily residences in Prince George's County. So we converted that property into what we now call the Ivy Youth and Family Center. But as we look from the rear of that building, there was another building. It was this detached, dilapidated garage that the owner had built. And looking out on that, recognizing how very blessed we had been, we determined that perhaps we could transform that building just as we transformed the residence and transform that dilapidated garage into an incubator that would serve the community. And so the photo that you see on the right-hand side is the architect's rendering for the Ivy Village Incubator for Nonprofit Excellence. That is our conference center and podcast studio to be built. And when I mentioned that we have already secured the funding, that would be to establish, to actually construct and equip that particular building. So moving from, that was our vision, that we wanted to actually pay it forward. We have been so blessed to receive lots of grants. We've been successful with our programs. What else could we do to really make a difference? And then expanding that vision, I happened to attend a grants workshop that was conducted by the nonprofit of Prince George's County, which is another umbrella arm, if you will, that serves nonprofits in Prince George's County. I attended one of their grants workshops, and there were 3 or 4, I can't remember now, because this is about 10, 12 years ago. And they were foundation representatives. And so they did their usual spiel about opportunities to receive grants and the like. And so I raised a question after listening for a while, and the question and answer and so forth. And I raised a question and I said, well, exactly how many of those grants that you all provide actually have been awarded to Prince George's County nonprofits? And there was, now, like I said, there were about 3 or 4 representatives there, and there was silence for a good 30 seconds. No one said anything. And so finally, someone was bold enough, I'll say, to say that the applications that they had received, generally from Prince George's County, were not quality that they generally would fund. And so I was taken aback by that. My first reaction was, well, and the others kind of nodded in agreement. Those who did not respond immediately kind of nodded in agreement. And I thought, and I responded, well, I kind of see it in 2 ways. If that is what you're saying, and you have evidence of this, and you've known this, and I've been to several of these workshops, it seems to me that it could be of your great service to come to Prince George's County and provide us with the technical assistance that would help us to be able to develop these more quality applications to receive the funding that other jurisdictions, nonprofits and other jurisdictions are receiving. So that was sort of the helping others, if you will. But then I also thought, what can we do ourselves? Sometimes you just have to, take the ball yourself and put yourself into action to make a difference. And so those were the 2 reasons that helped us to think more about establishing the Ivy Village Incubator for Nonprofit Excellence. Number 1, since we have been able to be successful, then what is it that we need to do now to help others to be just as successful in Prince George's County, and quite frankly, some of our surrounding jurisdictions? We realized that we can't do this work by ourselves, so we established a community advisory committee. These are experts from across the community representing nonprofits, representing the health sector, the business sector, the county officials, representing consulting, representing financial offices and fiscal agents, representing realty, of course, since we were in a building process as well. So we brought these folks together to help us to really think through every aspect of the Ivy Village Incubator concept, to make sure that as we move forward, we are addressing very important areas of interest and need, so that we can be more responsive, and so that we can certainly help our colleagues across the sector, if you will. So specifically, what is the Ivy Vine? What I want to make clear is it is not just a building. This is one of the kind of messages that we continue to extend, that it's not about the building, even though we're certainly in a construction phase. It's not about the building. It's about the service that we want to provide to help build the capacity of small and emerging nonprofits so that they can better serve the youth and families in Prince George's County and the surrounding communities. Our intent is to support a cohort of 10 nonprofits every 2 years. This was one of the recommendations that actually came from our community advisory committee. Our thought was that we would have this, that the cohorts would last for 1 year. Advisory committee said, no, you need to extend it out, give them enough time to really work through the very aggressive kind of program that we are presenting, as you will soon see. So there are 3 components to the Ivy Vine program. First of all, training, which includes both formal and informal training through partnerships that we have already established with Maryland nonprofits, nonprofit Prince George's County, and other sources that may come about. Another component is regarding coaching. What we've learned from our experience with Ready for Work is that you oftentimes need someone who can both encourage you, but also instruct you, guide you, direct you to make sure that you're staying on track as well. And so we are offering up to 50 hours of coaching and working in partnership with some local experts for each of the 10 nonprofits that will be part of this program. And then facilities access. So each participating organization will be provided office space, access to office equipment, the podcast studio that we talked about, and that we are constructing telecommunications and other facilities. Now, some of this will occur over time because number one, we're still in a construction phase, but that will not deter the activities that we are proposing for the Ivy Vine. And then this may be relatively clear when you think about an incubator program or an accelerator program, that training is essential. And so some background data for you, that there are over 4,000 nonprofit organizations in Prince George's County. But of those 4,000, 85% of them have revenue of $25,000 or less. So most of our nonprofits are very small, have very little revenue, have found challenges, in fact, during the pandemic as well. And then along with that, we have also learned that the majority of those who have leadership in those nonprofits have not received training. Essential training to help them to really make sure that those nonprofits are operating effectively and efficiently, and in compliance with both the Internal Revenue and the state of Maryland, because there are regulations that must be followed for both of those. And so we are going to be, as I said, following with Maryland nonprofits, using the curriculum that they have established. Heather Iliff is executive director there, and Amy Coates-Madsen oversees the Standards for Excellence program. As I said, Maryland nonprofits is sort of an overarching umbrella organization for nonprofits in Prince George's County, but the Standards for Excellence program extends beyond Maryland. I'm sorry, for Maryland nonprofits, but Standards for Excellence extends beyond Maryland. They actually have nonprofits that have participated in the Excellence Institute from across the country. And I'll share a little bit of data about that in a minute as well. In addition to Maryland nonprofits, we are also partnering with nonprofit Prince George's County. Those of you who are in Prince George's County, I highly recommend that you learn more about nonprofit Prince George's County. And those of you who are part of this call now, who are in the state of Maryland, I absolutely recommend that you check out Maryland nonprofits as well. Tiffany Turner Allen is an amazing person who is helping nonprofits across the sector to really build their capacity, offering a host of opportunities, including monthly lessons, workshops, if you will, on a host of topics. During the height of the pandemic, offered collective community check-in where nonprofit executives could just call in and just talk about some of the challenges that they were facing. And then the courageous conversations, you know, sometimes people don't want to talk about some of these hard topics, especially as we were going through with following the murder of George Floyd, and and racial inequities and so forth. And so she offered several sessions of courageous conversations to help us to really identify and work with the various issues related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So definitely check with them. They will be one of the main partners for the Ivy Village Incubator. So what I've listed here, because I had to be careful, Maryland nonprofits indicates that some of the information that they have even on their website is proprietary. So what I did was I listed the categories that we will be covering as part of the Ivy Vine curriculum, which is aligned with the Standards for Excellence curriculum. So these are the topics that will be covered in the 2-year program. Mission and impact, where you'll be defining the mission of your organization and understanding its impact. What I have as asterisks here would be the categories that relate to the first level, and that's what we're going to be focusing on with the Ivy Vine, is the first level. There are 3 tiers for Standards for Excellence. The basics category, and I'm going to go through those. The basics enhanced, which means that you've gone beyond the basics category and able to comply with some other requisite areas. And then finally, accreditation, which is the final level and the highest level, the 3rd level, that gives the standards, the seal of excellence, if you will, indicating that your nonprofit has reached that ultimate level. So these are the 7 areas that are covered by the curriculum of Standards for Excellence. But the ones that fall under the basics category are mission and impact, program evaluation, leadership and governance, and leadership and operational management. We may touch upon some of those other categories, but the ones that really focus on the basics level are the ones that I have shown with asterisks. Now, I made a note that one of the elements of the curriculum is making sure that your board is very engaged in the activities of the nonprofit, and the minutes of the nonprofit board of directors meetings need to, in many instances, document board approval. So we'll get more into that, but I just wanted to kind of put that little pin in your mind right now. There is the second level is the coaching component, where, as I mentioned, we will have a coach assigned to each of the nonprofits participating in the Ivy Village Incubator for Nonprofit Excellence. We are asking that we are providing up to 5 hours of coaching. Our thinking is that we will have 1 month where you will be engaged in a training activity, and then the next month when you would work with the coach. But we recognize that during that month where you have the training, there may be some questions that come up as a result of the training, some activities that you're working on where you may have questions. So in fact, you might likely be working with your coach every month. But if you're not, then at least we expect that you would be completing up to 50 hours actually of work with a coach. The coach will work with the nonprofit to complete a baseline assessment and then monitor the progress, verify completion of the program after the 2 years, or if things just don't seem to work out, that, this just isn't the right fit for your nonprofit, then they may, in consultation with you, obviously, recommend that that you may want to leave the program. And of course, the coaches will also be assessed for the work that they do with you. And then the 3rd category that I mentioned is facilities access. Space will be provided at the Ivy Youth and Family Center in Suitland. We're also going to be working with nonprofit Prince George's County, so that there may be some opportunity for working in space that they have available as well. And then those of you who would be interested in podcast capabilities, those would be available also at the Ivy Youth and Family Center. And for meeting activities that the nonprofit that you as participants would have, You would be able to have meetings there. You would be able to, if you're conducting a workshop as part of your nonprofit, you would be able to use the facilities that we would have at Ivy Youth and Family Center in Suitland, and we would work with you to secure some space if needed with nonprofit Prince George's County. So there are just a few requirements. The first, of course, is that you complete the application by November 30th of this year. The executive director of your organization or the president of the board of directors, if you don't have an executive director as part of your nonprofit, would need to sign a letter of commitment, both for the time, the 2-year program, as well as for time commitment and working with the assigned coach. One of the things that the Community Advisory Committee suggested to us was, well, we want to be sure that these folks are committed. And so we're recommending that you have a participation fee. What they recommended was a $500 participation fee. We thought, the staff thought, well, let's break that up. And so we're recommending, what we're saying is that there would be a $250 participation fee every year. Those of you who register, who submit an application, I should say, by November 30th, and you happen to be on this call, we are providing a $100 waiver, so that what we are asking is that you would provide us with $150. Now, you'll know once you are accepted, that is when the fee would be requested. You do not submit that fee with your application. We will follow up with you if you're selected. Then that's when we would ask about that. And then, of course, that you attend. Obviously, those trainings are critically important, and so the expectation is that you would attend at least 80%. We want 100% of the training that's being offered, but we know things happen. So a minimum of 80%. This is a look at the tentative schedule, and I mean tentative because we're kind of laying this out. Hopefully it makes sense. Applications due on the 30th. We'll notify you of your status by the 8th of December. We plan to have a public announcement and reception, including folks from the county to participate in this, because several of them will have been funders of this effort on January 12th. They're on or about January 12th, with a program orientation set for January 17th. We want to take a look at how things are going by the end of June. We're going to invite you to attend the Maryland Nonprofits Annual Conference, which is generally held in October every year. We will pay the costs of your attendance at that conference. And then we have a 1-year assessment, December 15th, which would include the completion of some of the deliverables towards the Standards for Excellence Basics level. And then in 2024, we'll do another mid-year assessment. You will submit, in June, you'll submit the remaining basics requirements in August so that you could be recognized at the annual conference in 2024 that Maryland Nonprofits conducts. And then the program would be completed by December of 2024. Another recognition event will be held, and press release and the like. So here are 10 reasons that we think you would want to participate in the Ivy Vine. First of all, you would qualify for Standards for Excellence. It's recognition in the first year. Anybody who's able to finish the accreditation in 2 years, we definitely applaud you. But at a minimum, we expect the recognition level. You'll be able to participate in excellent training through Maryland Nonprofits, Nonprofit Prince George's, and other entities. You'll get that one-on-one mentorship from a qualified coach, the training opportunities. You'll also get membership in Nonprofit Prince George's and Maryland Nonprofits. We will cover that for the 2 years that you're part of the program. Increased awareness of external affairs as we work collaboratively with the county and the state of Maryland on a host of issues and matters. You will be upfront in that. You will save significantly on the cost of office space because that's going to be provided to you. You'll have discounted rates on other types of activities, for example, other potential expenses because of the networking and so forth. And when you need accounting, accounting services and other types of services, you'll be able to benefit from those discounted rates. It will obviously increase your access and visibility across the region. Building relationships with the cohort members is significantly important for you because you learn through working together. And then you'll qualify for seed money. At the end of the program, we expect to provide grants up to $5,000 to each of the successful participants at the end of the program. So upon completion of the program, sort of in summary, yes, you will earn the Maryland Nonprofit Standards for Excellence Basics recognition. You'll be able to identify yourself as such with the Maryland Nonprofit logos for Standards for Excellence and Basics level. And as I mentioned, the $5,000 grant. I also talked about the number of nonprofits that have been recognized and accredited. Now, as you might imagine, there are thousands, there are 4,000 nonprofits identified in Prince George's County. So there are, thousands, hundreds of thousands of nonprofits across the country, and particularly in the state of Maryland. But only 160 have been recognized and accredited by Maryland nonprofits across the country. 57 have been recognized and accredited in the state of Maryland, even though this is Maryland nonprofits. That's surprising. And only 20 nonprofits in Prince George's County of the 4,000, remember, I mentioned before, only 20 have reached that recognized or accredited level with Maryland nonprofits. So you will, if you participate in the program, graduate from the program, you will help us to increase that number, greater visibility. And what I am told is that in some instances, organizations provide additional points, if you will, when they rate the applications from those who have achieved Maryland Nonprofit Standards for Excellence recognition or accreditation. So that's critically important as well. And I'm showing on the screen those of us who have reached certain levels thus far with Maryland nonprofits. You can contact us. Any questions you have, feel free to, first of all, check out our website to get more information about the Ivy Village Incubator for Nonprofit Excellence. You can reach us at ivyvine@iccpgc.org. You can call us at our office number, 301-702-7312. I will make this PowerPoint available to those of you who are on the call now so that you can get even more information about it. And before we go to the Q&A, what I thought I'd do was to take you quickly through the application itself. It is really, really very easy to follow. So give me a second to get to it. So what you would do is you'd be on our website, click over here to Ivy Vine Complex, go down, it says Ivy Vine application. So you click on the application, and then you just kind of go through each of these. I need to get rid of this so that I can find it. There we go. So I've already populated some of this so we can move through this very quickly. It just asks for your email, your name, your title. Then going through the name of your organization, your mailing address, telephone, website address, your social media platforms, your tax ID, and where you're located, then what your budget size is, and how many years you've been in operation, and then a description of any training that you have already had or that you are currently taking. Then getting more into about your services, you would provide information about your mission state. You would provide your mission statement, a brief description of the services that you offer, excuse me, and then the population that you're serving, the focus of your services that are being offered. And then finally, you're going to attach some very important documents here. Very easy to upload these, your IRS determination letter, your articles of incorporation, your bylaws, your fiscal budget, your current fiscal budget, or the budget for the next year, the financial reports, which would be your budget versus actual for the past 3 years. If you've only been in business for 2 years, obviously that is what you would put there. Your most recent Form 990, if you don't have your 2021, send us your 2020. The certificate of good standing. For Maryland, we provide the information for how you would get that. If you have questions, if you're from other states, you know, we could help you to identify where you would get that information. And then board meeting minutes over the last fiscal year, the board roster, and the list of staff, if you have any, or a staffing chart. And then this is a checklist just to remind you of all the things that we're asking you to submit. And you submit there and you're done. Just a reminder that the deadline to submit is November 30th by midnight. Okay, all right, I did that in 37 minutes. If anyone has any questions, I'll open the floor. Just raise your hand. That probably would be the easiest way. Raise your hand. I'll try to respond to any questions you may have. No questions? I was so succinct. No one has any questions. Anybody consider? Oh, okay. Is it pronounced Dana or Dana?
It's Dana.
Great. Hi,
Yes.
Dana.
Hello. Thank you so much. You definitely gave some really good information. It was well put. So I understood, you know, everything. My question for you is, if I am not the founder, but I am the director of a nonprofit, am I able to be a part of the cohort on behalf of the nonprofit?
So it doesn't have to be the founder, but it does need to be someone who is authorized, who is authorized to represent the organization, who must submit the application.
Okay, and would I need to like do any type of document stating that, or?
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Right.
Okay.
And I understand your question, Dana, because new nonprofits, you're kind of just getting started and identifying who's doing what and those kinds of things. Oftentimes it takes a little bit of time. So I definitely understand your question.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Cheryl.
You're welcome. Is that Shanae?
Hi, yes, it is.
Hi, Shanae.
How are you?
Great.
Got to piggyback on what Dana just said. Great information, and I'm excited to submit my application. Yes, my question is, I know you said 80% participation, but let's say, for instance, I can't make a meeting or an event, but I sent my president instead. Is that acceptable as well?
Yes, it is. 80% of the training activities, someone from the organization must represent the organization.
Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay. If there are no other questions, anything else to add that I may have left out, Miriam?
No, I think you handled it all, and I will be looking forward to this PowerPoint presentation being made available as well. Thank you all for attending. Great questions.
Yes, that's right. Thank you, Erica. I will type up those. I'll make a way. Maybe what I'll do is when I update the PowerPoint, Erica is saying that we should type up the Q&As. So prior to sending out the PowerPoint, I will add those questions to the PowerPoint and everybody will have them. And over time, if there are subsequent questions that come our way, every week, I won't say every day that we get those, but perhaps every week or so, or every couple of weeks, we will update the website with any new questions that come up so that if they relate to the submission that you're providing, you'll be able to see how we responded to those questions. Okay. Yes, thank you. From our marketing perspective, that's right. Please do follow us on social media and sign up for our newsletter. Brandy Reed is our marketing and communications coordinator for the Ivy Community Charities. She would love to be able to send you information and to add you to our distribution list, which, by the way, have grown substantially this year. There's been great interest in the work that we're doing, and so we're excited about that. Cynthia had a question, but maybe she changed her mind.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for acknowledging me. Great information. My question is, a lot of the information you shared, I guess, is for existing nonprofit.
Right.
So if we're in the middle of trying to establish one, any recommendations on, I guess, services? I went out to the Standards for Excellence Institute, and again, it looks like if you already are a nonprofit,
Right,
you will go through this. But what about folks who are just trying to get started? Any suggestions, recommendations?
well, my recommendation would be to, go back to Maryland nonprofits, because they've got some excellent instructions about how to start up a nonprofit and making sure that you're following the guidance that they provide. They also do recommend that you seek the assistance of a licensed consultant. I happen to be a licensed consultant for Maryland nonprofits, so I'm more than happy to assist in those who are, thank you, Shanae, those who are looking into developing starting up a nonprofit. In fact, I had a meeting earlier today with another Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority chapter group that is looking into establishing a foundation. So yes, absolutely. Check Maryland nonprofits. The guidance is there. And then do attend the nonprofit Prince George's County training sessions, the lunch and learn sessions. They're very inexpensive. They used to include lunch when we were doing them face-to-face at a nominal cost of like $20, $25, but those are very helpful too. In fact, I think the one that's upcoming is on grant funding. So you may want to check that out. I highly recommend attending training sessions, even if you have not established your nonprofit. Attend the training sessions that are offered by Maryland Nonprofits, Nonprofit Prince George's County, and other organizations in the area. Most of them are really very helpful in helping you to really think through all aspects of your nonprofit management, because since you're getting started, you want to get started in the right way. So those training sessions will be very helpful in that regard.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Cynthia. And Shanae Hargrove, our technology coordinator, is on and has posted our social media contacts. So yes, please do follow us. More upcoming information will be coming out about upcoming information will be made available as we progress through this. We're really excited about the Ivy Vine. We think it's novel. We know that other businesses have offered an accelerator program or an innovator program where they offer, you know, a building, I'm sorry, space, office space. Others have, you know, some level of training. Well, we've gone beyond that. We're offering not only the training, but we're also making sure that you complete the very significant Maryland Nonprofit Standards for Excellence. I don't know anybody else who's doing something like that on your behalf at the cost that we're offering you, which is basically nothing. So, Dana, did you have another question?
I did. Sorry to be a question hog, everyone.
I appreciate it.
I like to get it all.
That's right.
So just piggybacking off of the financial aspect, first, thank you so much for a great discount. So my question is, when I do submit the application, will there be a promo code, or you guys just have like who was here and then you'll apply that $100 discount?
Yes. So, you know, that we have, let me make sure. Shanae, the name and organization for everyone who registered, we have that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we will know that you participated. We're recording this session as further evidence that you participated. And then once you are selected, you'll be selected, then we will be sure to offer that discount to you.
Okay, thank you. Trying to save money where I can.
That's exactly right. That's a smart thing to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I know one of our participants is actually on from Aruba. Oh, I'm really impressed. So thank you for joining us. Anyone else? If not, we are, Erica, thank you so much for always being available to us, serving as our coach. We definitely appreciate it. Appreciate Shanae making sure everything got done from a technology standpoint. Thank you so much. If there's nothing else, ladies, I don't want to hold you up. I don't see any gentlemen, any male names, but you never know. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we will get this posted probably next week, because we're working on another grant application that's due at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Actually, we got a couple of deadlines for tomorrow. So we'll get it out next week, including the additional questions that came up for us. Oh, Joy is on from Chicago. All right. I love it. I love it. Very good. Oh, Jamar is in the classroom listening. That's good. I won't say anything. I wonder, well, I won't ask about those of you who are in your government jobs listening in too. It's all good. And Andrea is all the way in Columbia. I hope you mean Maryland and not the country, but it's all good. It's all good. All righty. That's it. Cornelia, I'm with you, girl. I'm with you. All right. Good day, everyone. Thanks so much.